Once upon a time, in a small, picturesque town nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, there was a school known as Sunnyvale Academy. It wasn't just famous for its bright red brick walls or the lush green playground. It was known for its kind-hearted and wise teacher, Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher, with his gentle smile and twinkling eyes, had a unique way of teaching. He believed lessons were not just learned from books, but from life itself. Among his students was a bright but somewhat impatient boy named Ethan. Ethan was intelligent, quick-witted, and curious, but he often lacked patience and understanding, especially when it came to older people. Sunny morning, Mr. Fletcher announced a special project. Class, we're going to learn about respect this week, not just the kind you read in books, but the kind you show in actions, he said. Ethan, sitting in the front row, thought it sounded boring. Respect. He already knew what it meant, or so he thought. Later that day, Mr. Fletcher invited the class to visit a nearby care home where elderly people lived. "We going there to learn from the wisest people in our community," he said with a knowing smile. Ethan wasn't thrilled. Deaf wad. Ethan wasn't thrilled. Should I spend time with old people? They way slow, and they don't understand us, he muttered to himself. The next day, the class arrived at the care home. It was a cozy building with colorful flowers blooming in the garden. The residents were excited to see the children, their faces lighting up like the morning sun. Ethan was paired with a kind elderly man named Mr. Harold. Harold had silver hair and a warm, weathered face. As they sat together, Harold shared stories of his youth, the adventures he had, and the lessons he learned. Ethan listened politely, but wasn't truly interested. Why should I care about these stories? Ethan thought. But then Harold said something that caught his attention. "You know, Ethan, when I was your age, I didn't think much about listening to older folks either. But one day I learned how important it is. It's like planting seeds of wisdom in your heart. You will never know when you will need them." The following weekend, Mr. Fletcher decided to take the class on a hiking trip to the nearby woods. Ethan, always eager for adventure, led the way. But as they ventured deeper into the forest, a heavy fog rolled in, and the group lost their bearings. Mr. Fletcher calmly suggested they rest and find their way once the fog lifted. But Ethan, impatient and frustrated, insisted he could find the way out on his own. Ignoring everyone's advice, he dashed ahead, determined to prove he didn't need help. As the minutes turned into an hour, Ethan realized he was lost. The towering trees seemed to close in, and every path looked the same. Fear crept in, and tears welled up in his eyes. Suddenly, he remembered something Mr. Harold had said during their conversation. "Whenever you feel lost, stop, breathe, and look around. There's always something to guide you." There, Ethan took a deep breath, calmed himself, and noticed a small trail marker on a tree. He followed it back to the group, feeling both relieved and humbled. When they returned to school, Mr. Fletcher asked Ethan to share his experience. Ethan hesitated, but then spoke from his heart. He realized how much wisdom older people have. "Mr. Harold's advice helped me when I needed it the most. I should have listened more and respected him from the start." Me. Fletcher smiled. "That's the beauty of respect, Ethan. It's not just about being polite. It's about valuing the knowledge and experiences others have, especially our elders." The next day, Ethan visited the care home on his own. He brought Mr. Harold a small potted plant as a token of gratitude. "Thank you for your advice," Ethan said. Harold's eyes twinkled with joy. From that day on, Ethan became one of the most attentive students in Mr. Fletcher's class. He learned not just from books, but also from the stories and wisdom of those around him. He realized that respecting elders wasn't just about manners, it was about learning, growing, and showing kindness. Children, always remember, your elders have walked the paths you are just beginning to explore. Their experiences are treasures that can guide you through life. Respect isn't just about words, it's about actions. When you respect your elders, you are not just helping them, you are helping yourself before you go. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories and lessons that make you think, smile, and grow and respect your parents and elders.